to new business. Do we have any items introduced by the superintendent, Mr. Hendrick?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you, and members of the public and our board. Recently, much has been said about the policies of the board that were approved during the last board meeting regarding our instructional and controversial materials. I want to take just a minute today to address that. I want to also address the separate decision from those policies by the district administration to pull the book, The Bluest Eye, from our libraries. It's important to take a moment to clarify that decision. So first, it's important to know that that was a district decision, not the school board. The school board's vote on the policies and that decision happening at the same time, or perhaps a bad coincidence, but nonetheless separate from one another. The board policies place the responsibility on district employees and our committees as it relates to controversial materials and instructional materials. The public discussion since that time has been robust, it's been healthy, and it's been welcome. Through these discussions, emails that we've received, conversations that have been had, media coverage, talk about freedom, talk about censorship, and much more, there's been one important part that has been left out of the discussion or certainly has not received enough attention, and that is the actual laws that the district applied in making the decision. There are a number of various relevant laws. First, Florida Statute 1006.40, which prohibits schools from using materials that are pornographic or harmful to minors, the latter of which excludes materials that, if taken as a whole, have serious literary value. The second important law recently enacted on January 18, 2023 is State Board Rule 6A-7.0715. This rule expands the scope of materials that should not be included in our schools. The training incorporated as part of this rule or law states that materials which are neither pornographic nor harmful to minors may still be inappropriate for students in schools should err on the side of caution when applying these tests. The training, as an example, states that if you would not be comfortable reading the material aloud in a public meeting, you should err on the side of caution in not making that material available. We, like other districts, continue to seek clarity on these laws as they are new and sometimes conflicting. Ultimately, as a district, we have an obligation to follow the law. This is why we made the decision that we made to err on the side of caution. I encourage the public, as they have these conversations, to remember that the district must follow the law, remembering that the legislator makes the laws, not the board or its employees. With that said, Pinellas County Schools, we believe strongly in wide-ranging literature, reading across genres. We believe that diverse materials push the thinking as students are developed as well-rounded citizens. In fact, the law requires us to have diverse materials. We also trust our media specialists and our teachers to choose materials that are aligned to standards, that are age-appropriate and in compliance with the law. We believe in the parents' right to advocate for their children. And we do believe, as I've mentioned, in following the law. With this in mind, in the public discussion, we plan to bring a new process to our board for discussion at an upcoming workshop this spring that captures these ideals that we believe in, gives parents choice, and follows the law. As a school system, we are not alone in these discussions. In fact, if you followed the news, you recognize that all 67 districts across our state are also having similar conversations, navigating the new laws, and in similar places. And so I want to let our board know and the public know, as we look at some next steps, here's where we are as a district in following the law and the next steps that we will take. First, as has been mentioned, we are requiring all our media specialists, our principals, and appropriate district staff to take the new training. It's required to be done by the end of June. We're also in the process of beginning the inventory of our classroom libraries. Part of this new law required all classroom libraries from kindergarten through 12th grade to be cataloged and available to the public. We're talking hundreds of thousands of books, and that will take time, and we want to make sure the burden is not put on teachers unfairly to do this. We are gathering input from our media specialists on administrative procedures for books and libraries, and in fact, the law requires the media specialists to be the experts in this area. We are reviewing our processes, as I mentioned, with the board when books with concerns are raised, and as I said, we will bring an updated process to our board later this spring. And as we've done last summer and will continue to do this year, we will rely on our library media teams and assemble groups to look at those books. Last summer, we did so with nearly 100 books. I know that today we'll have some speakers around that, and I thought it was important for us as a school district to clarify what has happened in our process moving forward. So with that, I want to jump to some other items in our district that have happened recently, starting with our Evening of Excellence. I want to congratulate Mr. Adam Zale, math teacher at